A pleasure to have you join us today on the program Healthy Living. I'm Adisuwa Osawagi. Last week we started something on you and your food, how your food can kill you and how your food can also heal you, how your food can make you healthy and how your food can actually make you very sick. So today we are continuing with what we started last week, and today we're going to be very specific. We're going to look at how you, because if you check now, out of 10 persons, you discover that 7 of them will be diabetic, if not 8 or 9. That is the commonest ailment now in our today's world over, not just in Nigeria, everywhere all over the world. I was doing a little bit of research the other day, and I saw that even in America, the scientists were saying that in the next 10, 20 years, almost all Americans will come down with diabetes because of what they eat, because of the kind of junk that they eat. And you will agree with me that every day we have different seasoning in the market. How do all those seasoning come about? We don't know. And we've been reading, some persons have been advising on what to do, maximize or minimize the way you eat seasoning, minimize the way you eat fat and oil, minimize the way you eat junk. So we want to look at specific now, how to heal using food. As a diabetic today, we'll be concentrating on you. And if we have the time, we'll also talk about those who are living with hypertension. Today, I have with me in the studio, let's introduce the man first, okay? Let it not be that we are oppressing him, okay? Mr. Gbenga Oladipo, happy to have you join us again.
Thank you.
He's a dietitian from the
Thank
University
you, I'm
of
happy
Benin.
to be here again.
Okay. All right, seated beside him and between us is Uchechukwu Okezu. All right, she's also on the path of being a professional dietitian. Happy to have you join us today, girl.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so we're going to look at what you eat. All right, Mr. Gbenga, according to a study I was going through last week or so, a scientist came out to say that in America, out of every 10 person, 9 will come down with diabetes, and even children are not being spared. Not because of type 1 diabetes, but type 2 diabetes. So, and then he attributed all of this to the kind of food we eat. And you know, as Nigerians, we are copy. We copy a lot of things we see, all sort of food, you know. Before, people used to say this sickness as old people's thing.
Yes.
But it is so saddening to realize that even young children of 9, 10, 8, 7, thereabouts are fighting this disease. And the other day you claimed that with food we can do quite a number of good things for ourselves.
Yes.
And you also said that eating like a glutton will not help anybody. But that's a Nigerian thing. Let's paint a scenario. Now you go to a party, you see people hoarding food, you know, serve it to an OTO, they will carry and carry and carry. I see somebody eating several plates and all of that. Then when you go to eateries, it's a power thing, it's a show-off thing where somebody will buy maybe one small ball of eba or whatever swallow, and then you will see, particularly at a mama put, oh yeah, put them for plate, come, you know, and then they will eat and eat and eat. And you will also say that that is a dangerous practice. Now talk to us, somebody who is diabetic. We all know what diabetes is, and somebody who is down with it. You claim that that person can heal if the person eats right. But we have also been told that there are so many things a diabetic patient forbids. You can't eat this, you can't eat that, okay, particularly carbohydrate food. And then you see some eating only beans and unripe plantain, vegetables, and what they eat is kind of, it looks very boring, you know. And some are not usually very happy. They cannot drink sweetened water and all of that. I'm talking about soft drinks and the rest of them. There are so many, don't do. But I remembered one day we were talking and you said that, that was on radio, that diabetic can eat everything.
Yes, I said so.
Okay, please, Mr. Gbenga, take it from there.
For the, to let our friends at home know that diabetes is not a death
sentence. Okay.
No. So it's something they can do and manage it properly and do what other people are doing. Not just like, oh, I've already had diabetes now, I have limited to what I can do. No, not at all. Then you made mention of, America, the statistics and everything. What actually happened is this: people don't even know the reason why we eat.
Okay.
The purpose why we eat is our body to utilize that food, as a source of energy. So you eat because you want to, use it, not eating and be sitting down, not eating and live a kind of sedentary lifestyle. No, you don't do that. When you eat food, you are eating it for the purpose of, for growth, to energize you, for even for body process. A lot of things, all things actually happen in our system that we cannot see. So that's the reason. But when in a situation whereby you eat food and you don't use it, you are sedentary, you eat and eat and eat, so that person can come up with different things. Part of it is that type 2 diabetes that you just mentioned now. So a lot of people come out. If you look at America, people that are actually obese and overweight, they are prone to have diabetes and hypertension. So these are the things that you have to manage your weight, healthy weight. You have to eat healthy and then don't be lazy. So you need to be active. So if the three things is in a man's life, I'm very sure to come up with those non-communicable diseases will be kind of hard and difficult. Then you made mention of how can we manage diabetes
with food. Yes.
Yes, of course. Since we know that, okay, diabetes is about our body produce a lot of insulin to regulate whatever food that we eat. And then this time around now, the body does not have that ability to produce enough insulin. What does that mean? It means that the body function actually being declined. And then doctor gives that person drug to actually enhance insulin production. So when you eat food now, that drug will help your body to secrete insulin, and because body cannot secrete insulin on its own, they now give you drug. That drug will now help that insulin production. Then that drug has a kind of ability, a kind of power, the particular amount of drug given to you. So when you are eating, you have to eat in relation to that drug that you take. So if you do that, you don't have any issue. And I say you can eat everything. Yes, you can eat everything, because the drug the doctor give you 2,000 milligrams of hypoglycemic agent. It's same metformin, whatsoever, glucophage, whatever drug you are taking. It means that the food that you are eating must be in line with that drug. So when you eat that way, because the essence of that drug is to work on carbohydrate food, energy food, not protein food, not fat, not vegetable, not whatever snacks you are taking outside you take, or cracker biscuit that you think it will help you. You don't want your sugar to rise. No, not at all. So when you eat that way, the food you eat, that you make that drug to work properly. Some people, they take drug, they don't eat because they have hyperglycemia yesterday. They said tomorrow I will not eat, I will just take ordinary drug. If that person does that, it means that person can come up with different complications, different problems. That's why you see diabetic patient, you see a lot of them come up with malnutrition, emaciating. That's how you look them. You say, what's wrong with this person? That's why sometimes they ask to go and do HIV test. Maybe they don't understand. So if anybody that has diabetes, you can be eating and be eating, that food is not getting to the cells. It's just there in the blood. Until doctor prescribed drug for you and started using drug, or you maintain your diet in such a way that your body can utilize it. And I've told you, you don't be a kind of lazy person. You have to increase your activity level. When you do that, you have been on the right track, you are fine, you are okay. So when you go back to the hospital and doctors say, you are not doing well, you are doing well, you review your drug. When they review, say maybe you have been taking 2,000 milligrams of hypoglycemic agent before. Doctors say, okay, instead of 2,000 milligrams, now take 1,000. The hope that you are doing fine. But anytime you go to the hospital and doctor increases that drug, you are not doing well. So these are the things.
Uchechi, let me ask you now, how do we eat right?
Okay, thank you for the question. We eat right by eating adequate, balanced diet, by making sure that our food is being proportioned very well. That's how we eat right.
Okay. So a diabetic patient comes to you now and say, okay, for breakfast, what would you advise?
Okay, for breakfast, we can advise the person to take pap and maybe moi moi, But every food we are giving to that diabetic patient is being proportioned. It's being like counted for the patient. So we don't give the patient kind of too much food. We give the patient food according to the number of drugs he or she is taking.
Is that counting that people are complaining about? Each time we come on. Now, Mr. Gbenga, if you want to plan a meal properly now, and say, because you have, you see that I keep saying, you claim, because those are your words as a dietitian. If you say that a person who is diabetic can eat everything, every food, as in bread, as in yam, you name it, all of those things that they say don't eat.
Yes.
How is the person supposed to go about it?
Yes. You know, I just said something. You know, she made mention of something, said we can't food.
We can't, yes.
That's calorie count. What does that mean? It means that we look at this person is a bricklayer, this person is a banker, and this person is taking 1,000 milligrams of hypoglycemic agents.
Yes.
Now, if I'm giving that person food, I don't give the same food with person that is banker, and then he's taking 2,000 milligrams of hypoglycemic agents. Okay. Remember that someone is taking 1,000, but it's very active. Very active. The other person is taking 2,000.
And it's not active.
It's not active. Now, if you look at it, you'll be looking like, okay, the person that is taking 2,000 is supposed to take too much food because it's 2,000. Someone is taking 1,000, but it's very active. You believe that that person that is taking 1,000 might actually take more food than the person that is taking 2,000 because he's very active. Just now. Now, we look at it that how will this person spend out this food, utilize this food. They will now come up with, okay, this person is a banker, is a bricklayer. Not only that, this person is a female, is a male. Okay. Not only that, this is the age of this person. Okay. Not only that, this is the size of this person. What's the ideal body weight of this person? Is this person actually weighed normal weight before? Like I told you that diabetic patient used to come up with malnutrition. So we consider that someone is very obese, is diabetic. I don't give the same food with someone that's malnourished. Okay. Just now, because I'm looking a way to bring up that person that's malnourished. But the person that's obese, I'm looking for a way to bring him down.
To reduce the weight.
To reduce the weight. So these are the things that we consider. There's nothing like, oh, I want to eat food, then I have to eat like this.
Planning food for somebody looks very complicated.
It's not complicated.
The way you are saying
it's not complicated. It's not at all. What I mean is this: I'm giving someone food. I know that this person is very active. He can use it. I give more food because he has a way of using that thing. But someone is sedentary. He's just sitting down and he's eating more food. Their sugar will not control. Now, someone is taking plantain and beans, plantain and beans, plantain and beans. What does that mean? The amount of carbohydrate you see inside beans is very, very minor, very, very low. Compare it with yam, rice, amala, semo, wheat. Just now. Then the person is taking plantain too, unripe plantain with vegetable. The reason why we are giving vegetable is this: vegetable can actually help that food to be releasing sugar small, rather than taking, plantain and stew, or plantain and garden egg sauce. Okay. So there are two different things. So if you come to me now, you said, okay, I know that diabetic patient, there's tendency of you complain of hunger every time. What I do is, when I calculate the amount of carbohydrate you need in your food, I make sure that the remaining space, I just fill up that space with vegetable. So when you are eating full. You don't complain of hunger. My own concern is, so far your energy you spend every day is being met. Yes. I don't have issue with that. So I give you the amount of energy you need per day, and I make sure that you are full.
Okay, it's not everybody that wants to come and meet you in your office, to come and say, oh, let me go and meet Mr. Gbenga to plan a meal for me. Because let me tell you something, there are some persons that once they go to the hospital once, that is it. The next doctor's appointment is Google.
That's the problem. And that's the issue we have.
The next doctor's appointment
is Google. You know what? We're having problem now.
Our neighbor.
We're having problem now. There are some patients, after seeing us for the first time, and then first week, the sugar, maybe their fasting blood sugar was a kind of maybe 200 milligrams per year. And then after seeing us, the second day, that sugar dropped to 1 something. Like that. 2 weeks, they are still like 190. That means say, now I'm fine now. I'm not going to hospital again. Could you believe that? the more that person is getting better, the more that person needs food. That person cannot continue with initial plan we gave to him or her. So that person need to come back and now I'm now fine now. I can now walk from here to that place. Then your activity level has increased. Then your food must be, reviewed too. But it's just they will not come again. Then they come up with malnutrition. They down because that person want to stay on that food. That since that food make my sugar to go down, then I have to continue with it. No, you can't continue with it. Immediately you are fine, you are doing fine, then you come back to us and we review your diet again. That's
okay, now let's look at the influence of social media on one's health, because sometimes yours truly can just Google something and say, let me see what Google is talking about, this or that. You understand? Yes. Almost every person is guilty. I've had cause to go to hospital and actually saw the doctor trying to consult Google to attend to somebody. If not me, I go down bust, you know that kind of a thing. So now let's look at the influence of social media, particularly young girls. Because what young girls and young guys do these days, they browse the internet for all sorts. What to do not to get pregnant, what to do when there's a venereal disease, what to do when there's an STD and all of that. So they know all of those things. And so many of them are not using it right. So thank God you're in between. You're not, you're not so young, you're not so old. Now, let's look at the influence of social media on health, particularly the health of young adults like you.
Okay, social media has actually done more harm than good. So in terms of our food, it's not wise to always consult social media for our food, because when we eat all this food that we see on the internet, it tends to increase. It tends to, if we eat them now, it will affect us in the future. Okay. So eating what we see on social media
for the future. We are back to that.
Yes, so it's actually for the future. What we eat now affects us for the future. So we must not actually do everything on social media. We must always try to create our time to go to the hospital, to see a doctor, to see a specialist on that case we are trying to check. So it's not everything. Everything's not just about social media and the internet.
We have to be very careful.
We have to be very careful.
You are warning us.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Benga. I'm looking at time. Time is looking at me. Now, briefly, I know that this is your job. This is where your money comes from and all of that. But let's do the human angle. Quickly, can you plan breakfast, lunch, dinner for a diabetic patient right now?
Okay.
Generally, I know that because you will say you don't know the person's weight, you don't know the person's height, you don't know if the person is a man or a woman, but generally, now let's please do.
Please do. Now, some of us that are actually diabetic, you don't need to take every food in the morning. What I mean by every food, some people actually, it's my tradition. It's my tradition.
Yes, we must
it's my culture. If I wake up in the morning, I have to take akpu and ogbono. You can't do that when you have diabetes.
Okay.
So in diabetes, you need to take light food in the morning. What I mean by light food, in the morning you have pap there, like she rightly mentioned. You have bread there. You know, somebody they say you cannot take bread. You can take bread, of course. Even though I want to tell you, not ordinary wheat bread. Okay. You can take white bread, but need to be quantified.
Okay, it has to be small, like 10 slices.
No, not at all. Like 3 slices is okay. But if you are taking that bread, you don't take that bread with tea. You take that bread with vegetable sauce, and you take 1 bowl of egg to eat, and you take your tea. For example,
but is egg good for diabetic patients? Because we have also heard that they should not eat egg. That's why I say sometimes people they confuse us.
You know, she made mention of something, says balanced diet. So when you said balanced diet, it means that you need to eat variety first.
Yes.
And all the food group need to have a representative in that food.
All right, so let's do lunch now.
So you take light food. We have, yam. Then you can take yam in the morning with vegetable sauce also. And then, of course, you can take, rice and beans in the morning also. Not only that, you can go around and take custard if you want to take custard, but need to be quantified too. Now, in the afternoon and evening, your lunch and dinner, you can take any swallow. But the only thing you cannot, you know, try to manage yourself. Some of us that like apple, that like, you know, Santana, you know, that like starch, you cannot do it yourself, because if I ask you to take amount of apple, it will be very small compared to if I ask you to take pandeyam. You will eat more of pandeyam. And then pandeyam will be okay for you than when I ask you to take one, you know, just small of apple. Just now, that's why you cannot take apple. You can take apple if I'm watching you, I'm with you like this one on one.
So you
I'll tell
you
you
are
that,
counting
okay,
for the person.
yes, of course, this is what you take. But in the afternoon, you can take that. Then in the evening too, we have unripe plantain there and vegetable.
Yes,
you can take that. And then you have agidi there, so you can take agidi.
Okay.
Just now, a lot of things you can take. You know, some of the young people that they cannot do without taking spark, taking indomie.
Oh, that's noodles now.
Yes, you have to plan those things for them. They are young people, they are active. They can go everywhere and play football. Not like elderly people that's at home that cannot do anything. These are the, you know, differences or similarity that we have in planning, you know, menu for.
All right, to continue this conversation, you can call this number 080-6211-9900. 080-6211-9900. It is very important. Mr. Ngbega just said that if you're diabetic, it's not a death sentence. If only you live by the rules and within the rules, you'll just be fine. Uchechi, thank you for finding time to be with us here today. Mr. Ngbega, thank you for being here today. All right, people, this is what we're going to do. No matter what you do, just small, and you will be just fine. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.